I was just chilling in my room one day when my mom suddenly came in my room. She looked over and asked me, "Can you take your brother to his game? I have to work late." Translation, your ass is taking him. My little brother Mason was 12. Obnoxious, loud, thinks he's the next MLB star. I told him if he struck out today, I was telling everybody that he cried during Toy Story 3. He said if I embarrassed him in front of his friends, he'd tell our mom about the beer in my closet. Fair, I thought. So I decided to invite my girlfriend, Kayla, to keep me company, I guess. She agreed immediately, said she'd bring snacks and all. The school field was one of those typical after-school setups, aluminum bleachers, parents with folding chairs, kids screaming, coaches trying too hard. Kayla and I sat on the bleachers, shoulder to shoulder. She brought sour gummy worms and chips. I brought some Gatorade and sunflower seeds. We joked around, talked about dumb stuff, made fun of Mason's oversized helmet. When it was his turn to bat, we stood up and cheered like idiots. He actually got a hit. So I screamed, "Yeah, that's my brother!" He gave me the middle finger while running to first. Proud moment, I thought to myself. And then that's when Kayla nudged me. "Babe?" "What?" I said. She didn't smile. "There's a group of guys over there. They've been staring at me." I glanced behind us. About 4 guys, maybe early 20s, leaning against the chair link fence near the parking lot. They weren't parents, they didn't have kids, and they sure as hell didn't look like teachers. Just standing there. One of them was chewing on something, probably gum. Another had his hands tucked in his hoodie pocket. "And they're probably just checking you out," I joked. She didn't laugh. "I'm serious." So I looked again. They weren't talking, they weren't watching the game. They were, in fact, watching us. But I shrugged it off, told her that she was just overthinking. It was broad daylight after all, families everywhere. What the hell were they gonna do? After the game, Mason ran over to us, sweaty and smiling. "Did you see my hit? Did you see my hit?" he said. Yeah, future Hall of Famer right there, man," I said, ruffling his hair. Kayla smiled at him, but I can tell she wasn't relaxed. We started walking towards the parking lot. The crowds were beginning to thin, with parents loading their kids into the cars. The engine starting, doors slamming, that normal post-game chaos. I felt it before I saw it. That shift, that quiet, until I glanced back casually, and I saw them. The 4 guys that were at the fence earlier. They were walking right behind us. Not far, not close, just enough. I slowed down slightly. They slowed down. Kayla grabbed my arm. "See? They're watching us." I tried to stay calm. "It's probably just a coincidence. Calm down," I said. But I tested it. I crossed to the other side of the walkway. They crossed too. My stomach tightened. Mason was walking ahead of us, swinging his bat over his shoulder like he was still in the game. I pulled him back closer to us. "Hey, stay next to me," I said to him. "Why?" he said. "Just do it," I said. By now, most of the cars were gone. That sun was getting lower. That orange evening light that makes everything look quiet. Too damn quiet. Our car was near the back row. Of course it was. As we reached it, I hit the unlock button. The beep felt too loud. The guys were about 30 feet behind us, still walking, still staring. One of them smiled. Not friendly, not normal, just wide. Kayla whispered to me, "We need to get in the car now." I opened the back door for Mason. I shut it and I walked to my driver's side. I shot them down another glance. They had stopped walking. They were standing between us and the field entrance, blocking the direction we came from, until one of them called out, "Hey!" I ignored it. I got in the car, locked the doors. Kayla got in and immediately locked hers. The guys started walking toward us again, very slow, unrushed, like they had too much time on their hands, like they weren't worried about witnesses. I started the engine. Mason leaned forward from the back seat and he asked, "Why are they coming over here?" Before I could answer, one of the guys knocked on Kayla's window. He bent down slightly to look inside, and he was still smiling. "Hey mama, you looking fine. You want to have a good time tonight?" he said. She ignored him and shook her head, and told me to start driving, right now. I threw the car into reverse and I froze. Parked directly behind my car was a van, white, tinted windows, but the engine was running, and someone was in the driver's seat, watching us. Mason whispered from the back seat, "Hey, who are those guys?" It was nobody, just relax, okay? I said. The car ride back home was a bit silent, a bit awkward. So I killed the tension by turning on the radio, very calm and peaceful, until Kayla decided to turn it off. What are you doing? I asked. Those fucking guys, she said. You know they weren't gonna do anything, right? I said. She rolled her eyes. You don't know that, she said. Mason squinted out the back window. That van behind us keeps blinking its lights. I checked the mirror. Headlights flashed once, and then again. The same van from the lot. I sighed. They're probably just messing around. I shrugged it off. They're following us. They're not messing around, Kayla said. She was probably right, because when we turned, they turned as well, and they stayed in the same distance. And all you could see from the mirror was just blink, blink, blink. Non-stop. My jaw tightened, and then the next thing you heard was a thump from the car tires. What the hell? I said to myself. It was a flat tire. I started to mutter to myself, and I pulled into the nearest lot. Oh my fucking God, Kayla said, getting very agitated. We pulled into a small park. Empty playground. Empty parking area. No lights on. Perfect timing. Just amazing. We got out the car. The air felt too still, and the van behind us pulled in slowly. Parked across the lot. I checked the tire. It was slashed, not blown. Cut. My stomach dropped. I grabbed the jack and the tire iron. Kayla looked towards the van from across the lot. The doors opened. All four stepped out, clapping slowly. Damn, that's crazy. Another one of them smirked. Shit, I hate when that happens. You need some help, bro? I did the best I could to ignore their asses. They weren't worth my time until Kayla opened her mouth. Did you guys follow us because you don't get enough attention at home? She said. They laughed. Oh, she got a smart mouth. I stepped in front of her. Kayla, get back in the car now. I finally had the urge to look back at them, and I said, fuck off! One of the guys tilted his head. Relax, we're just checking on you, bro. Then they started walking faster. Not sprinting, just walking. Kayla, get in the car! I yelled. Kayla didn't move fast enough, and one of the guys broke into a run. I cracked his face with the iron as he lunged at me. Another one of them lunged at me. I swung again, and this time I missed, until one of them tackled me on the ground. I hit the pavement hard. I tried to get up, I got kicked in the ribs. Kayla started screaming. Mason called out my name, and one of those assholes grabbed Mason, locked him in a chokehold. Mason thrashed, and then he went limp. I tried to crawl towards him until one of the guys kicked me dead in the face, and then everything went black. I woke up lying on the ground. Vision was blurry. I could feel blood on my face, and then that's when I turned and I looked towards Mason, lying there beside me, unconscious. So I shook him. Mason, he groaned and he woke up. What happened? He said. The memory flooded back. Kayla, I said. I got up and realized that she was gone, but the van was still there. One of those fuckers stepped out. He looked at us, smiled, and then he yelled, Hey, look, they're up! I grabbed Mason's hand and we ran towards the woods. We bolted towards the trees, branches snapping behind us, footsteps, not one, not two, but very many, and we just ran deeper into the woods. Mason was crying now. We heard footsteps getting behind us, heavy breathing, too damn close. A hand grabbed my hoodie, so I turned it and swung very blindly, and then one of them tackled me to the ground. We both hit the dirt hard. Mason started to scream. One of the guys punched me in the face, again and again. Another one of those fuckers grabbed Mason and threw him to the ground. Thought you were tough in the parking lot, huh? Huh? One of them said. I tried to crawl towards Mason. At that point, I didn't care if I was getting my ass whooped. I just cared about Mason's safety. So I yelled out, Leave him alone! And then one of the guys punched me in the face again. And then I got kicked in the ribs. Very hard. Air sucked out of me. Everything felt like it was spinning. A rock smashed into one of the attacker's head. He stumbled. Get away from them! It was Kayla's voice. She burst from the trees, wild and shaking and covered in dirt. One of the guys lunged at her. She backed up, and she hit them hard in the face with a stick, stumbling them just slightly, until he dropped a gun that hit the leaves. Kayla saw it first. She scrambles. She grabbed it with shaking hands, She didn't know what the hell she was doing with a gun, but she grabbed it anyway. She was terrified. One of the guys yelled out to her, "Hey, you better drop that shit right now, bitch!" He stepped towards her. She screamed, and then there was a loud bang. The sound exploded through the trees. Birds scattered. Silence. The guy that she shot fell down. The other two froze. Their smirks were gone instantly. This wasn't fun and games anymore. They looked at the body, and then at her. Then they ran. Not yelling, not threatening, just gone. Kayla was still holding the gun. Her hands were trembling violently. I finally rose to my feet, and I said to her, "Kayla." She was staring at the body with her voice shaking. I didn't mean, she said. I took the gun from her. "What the hell were you thinking?" I said. "You were getting killed," she said. "Okay, but you just don't grab a gun and shoot somebody," I said. "I saved you," she said. Mason started to cry harder. "Can we please go home?" That snapped us back to reality, but just for a moment. The body was still there. The woods felt smaller now, too quiet, and then we just ran back to the car. Silence filled the air the entire way. Kayla was in the passenger seat, covered in dirt. She was whispering to herself. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to, she said. My hand was gripping the steering wheel too tight. I kept glancing at her from time to time, and then at Mason in the back seat, and then back to the road. You shouldn't have touched it, I said. You wanted me to let them kill you? She said. That's not what I said. You weren't doing anything, she said. She started to cry harder. Full breakdown now. The adrenaline's gone. The reality is settling in. She killed somebody. Not some animal, not a ghost, a human. The argument continued all the way to her house. Neither one of us processing what just happened. Neither one of us just thinking about what happens next. They knew who we were. They knew our car. And they more than likely know where we live. So when I pulled up to Kayla's house, neither one of us moved right away. The engine was still running. The headlights were still on. Mason was quiet in the back seat for once. Kayla stared straight ahead. Her hands were in her lap. Kayla, I'm sorry. She didn't look at me. I didn't mean to, she said. Her voice was small. I swallowed. I know, I said. I just wish there was some other way, I said. She opened the car door and ran back to her house. Kayla, I yelled out. She walked into her house without looking back. I sat there for a full minute, and then I drove me and Mason back home. Mason stared out the window the whole way. When we pulled into the driveway, he finally spoke. Are you going to tell Mom and Dad? He said. I didn't answer right away. My hands were still tight on the wheel. No, I said. Why? He asked. Just not yet, okay? I said to him. He nodded like he understood. And then he got out of the car and went inside. I stayed there for a minute with the engine off. The house lights glowing warm like nothing in the world had changed. But everything did. Because I didn't even know what happened. I didn't even know if those guys were coming back. And I sure as hell didn't know if we were safe. I couldn't stop replaying it in my head. The gun, the sound, the way that guy dropped. Later that night, my phone buzzed in my hand. I finally worked up the nerve and texted her. Nothing too crazy, just, are you okay? I said. I expected it to stay undelivered, or read, or probably nothing. 5 minutes passed, and then, I keep hearing it. I exhaled. I know, I said back. We went back and forth like nothing had happened. Small talk, comforting words, trying to pretend this was something we could just move past from. She said that she showered 3 times. Said that she could still smell the woods. Said that she felt like she was still holding the gun. After everything that we went through tonight, I told her that she saved us. She didn't reply to that though. Around midnight, I went downstairs to grab something to eat. The house was quiet. TV off, parents asleep. So I opened the fridge and that's when I heard something. A pop sound. At first I thought it was fireworks. And then the kitchen window exploded inward. Glass shattered everywhere. I dropped instantly. More pops. much louder. Bullets were ripping through the wall above me. I didn't scream. I already knew it was them. So I crawled behind the counter. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear anything else. The footsteps upstairs came down. My dad's door flying open. "What the hell?" he said. Another shot cracked through the kitchen. And then the sound of my dad racking his shotgun. Heavy, loud, terrifying. He came down the stairs fast. He didn't hesitate. He stepped into the living room and he yelled, "Get off my property!" A loud boom shook the house. His shotgun. The popping sounds stopped immediately. The car door slammed outside with the engine starting and tires screeching, and then complete silence. My parents rushed into the kitchen. They were asking if I was okay, if I was shot. I told them no, I wasn't shot, but I was okay. My mom was crying. "What's happening?" I didn't know what else to say because I knew exactly what was happening. It wasn't random. It wasn't mistaken identity. It wasn't a drive-by. It was them. They were not done. The police came afterwards. Lights everywhere. Neighbors outside. Statements, questions. My dad asked if I had any idea who would do this. I looked at the broken kitchen window, at the bullet holes in the cabinets, at the glass on the floor, and for the first time that night, I told the truth. Yeah. I know who did this. The police didn't treat it like some random vandalism. Once I told them about the park, about the woods, about the gun, everything changed. They went back out there that same night, and they found the body, found some blood trails, and found some tire tracks. Detectives at the house questioned me over and over. Descriptions, photos, they showed me a lineup. I picked 2 of them instantly. Mason picked 1. Kayla had to come in too. She almost didn't, but she did. She was pale the entire time, hands folded in her lap. When they asked her what happened in the woods, she told them the truth, that they were basically attacking me and Mason, choking him out, knocking me out cold, and then one of them had a gun. She told them how scared she was, how she thought that they were trying to kill us. The detectives didn't look shocked, like they feel like they heard worse. Turns out those guys weren't random. They were already known. Assault charges, weapons charges, one prior kidnapping investigation that never stuck. The van had fake plates. And the flat tire that I had, yeah, they slashed that shit. They planned everything, every bit of it. And the 3 other guys that were there, they were picked up 3 days later, trying to leave the state. The one who got shot, well, of course he didn't make it. Kayla wasn't charged. Self-defense. The DA didn't even hesitate. The house windows got replaced, the bullet holes patched, but every time I walked into the kitchen, I still looked at the wall, like I could still see them. Mason doesn't talk about it much. He sleeps with his door locked now. Kayla and I, we try to act normal. We went out once after that, sat in silence most of the nights, but from time to time, she still jumps at loud noises. I still check over my shoulder from time to time. We don't joke about it much anymore. But sometimes she asks me if there's a part of me that hates her for what happened. And I always tell her no. She saved us. But something shifted. You don't go back to who you were after hearing a gun go off in your hands or watching somebody die. Yeah, the guy was a piece of shit and all, but I didn't want him to die. But life happens. People always ask if I feel safe now. Well, yeah, they're in prison. Case closed, but sometimes at night, when it's quiet, I still hear those popping sounds. All because I thought some guy staring at us was just some joke. It was the moment that changed everything. And that's the thing about danger. It never looks serious at first.